Good evening, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving Eve. Today I'm sharing with you how I make my dressing. So I am making my dressing with Cornish hens, and I have 4 of them because I will be making a large pan of dressing. And I also will be using gizzards as well to put in my dressing as well. I will be cooking both my hen and gizzards together in crock pots, so it'll give me more time to get started on other things while those are cooking all day. So I've washed my hens. They came without, is it giblets? So they didn't have any inside parts in them, so they came empty. So I'm just placing 2 hens in both of my crock pots. Okay, and I'm just drizzling a little olive oil over them. And next I am seasoning them with seasoning of my choice. So this is garlic powder, onion powder, and poultry seasoning by Badia. I believe it's called Badia or Badia, but that's the poultry seasoning I like to use. And also some Creole seasoning. Okay, and I will be adding a carton of chicken broth. Now you can do this completely with chicken broth, but I'm only using 1 carton of chicken broth, and I will fill up the rest of the crock pots with water. So I'm using water to fill the rest of the way up for the broth. Okay, so I'm just making sure that the liquid is covering over the hens. Alright, so what you see here is a mixture of bell pepper, onion, green onion, and yellow onion. So that is my seasoning blend, vegetable seasoning blend that I put in to flavor my hen broth for my dressing. So I'm going to be putting in a couple of cups of this vegetable seasoning blend. And if you prefer to use fresh vegetables, then you can do so. Fresh or frozen vegetables work just fine. I prefer to have everything already prepped for me. I did cut up my vegetables about 2 weeks ago prior, so I like to have everything cut up and ready to go for me. But everyone have their own preferences on how they like to do things. Alright, so this would be maybe 2 hours of cooking in the crock pot. I'll let this cook for a while, so it's been 2 hours. So I've washed my gizzards and I seasoned my gizzards, and I will be adding them in with my hens. And not only adding the gizzards in with the hens, it will also create more flavor for your broth, for your dressing. Okay, so after I place all of my gizzards in the crock pots, I will allow for these to cook for 7 to 8 hours. Just making sure everything is mixed in good. And if you hear any beeping noise, that's my smoke detector. All right, so this has been 8 hours of cooking, and as you can see, the vegetables have cooked down, and also the chicken, or the hen, I'm sorry, is tearing apart. And that's what you want, because you want that meat to be torn up into your dressing. Alright, so now I'm going to make my cornbread, a simple cornbread recipe. I have 2 cups of yellow cornmeal, self-rising cornmeal at that, 1 cup of self-rising flour. And I'm just going to mix those dry ingredients up together. Right, I add 2 large eggs and a half a cup of cooking oil, canola oil that is, that I use. And I added in a cup and a half of milk. And I just mixed everything together. And I will be placing it in my glass baking dish. I'm going to, everything trying to fall out of my hand. I'm going to spray it down with some canola oil spray and pour it right in. And I'm going to bake this at 350 for 30 minutes. Okay, so I did 2 glass pans of cornbread. So now I'm about to assemble my dressing. So I put both of my cornbreads into a large aluminum pan, and I'm just going to mash down and crunch down the cornbread. And it's easier to use your hands to crumble the cornbread to get them into those smaller pieces that you need. So I'm gonna do that until it becomes into like some fine coarse crumbs, as you see here. And I have seasonings to use when I get ready to assemble my dressing. So I have butter and I have cream of chicken soup mix, or condensed soup, sorry about that. All right, so as you can see, I'm taking the hot broth and spooning it into the cornbread. And you want to make sure this part, you pretty much can eyeball it, and you just want to make sure you're putting enough liquid in at the consistency of a wet how would I say, like a porridge, or maybe how the consistency of thick grits look. And it depends, the more broth you put in, the more moist your dressing would be. So after I gauged enough broth and stirred everything up, and also you can also pick out the bones that you're, with your meat. You can pick out your bones and make sure you can only have your meat and everything in your dressing. So as you see here, I added in 1 stick of butter, and I added in only half of that tall can of cream of chicken, and I'm adding in all of my seasoning of my choice that I would like to use. Okay, putting in a little bit of sage seasoning. And I'm just gonna mix everything together. Okay, so everything has been mixed together. So now I'm going to put in my dressing inside of the same glass baking dishes that I use for my cornbread. Now, if you choose to, you can keep your dressing inside of the aluminum pan to bake it in, but I would like to just separate the amount, split it up into two portion sizes, because one will be going out of town. We are having Thanksgiving at my husband's mother's home, so one of these will be going to his mom's house, and the other one will be for us to keep at our home. So yeah. All right, so I put those in the oven, in the 400-degree oven, and they will bake for an hour. So what you're looking at now is I'm about to make my Giblet gravy. So this is the remainder of the hen broth. I have it in a pot on the stove, and I'm putting in 2 cans of cream of chicken. And I make sure that the cream of chicken is has been mixed in together thoroughly. Okay, so I'm using some cornstarch as a thickener. If you don't have cornstarch, you can also use all-purpose flour and mix it with water, as you see here, and make sure you mix it well. You don't want to put raw flour or cornstarch right over into your pot, because it will harden up and it won't dissolve. You'll have bubbles of uncooked starch or flour in your gravy. All right, and as you see here, I added seasonings to my gravy. Make sure you season your gravy to your liking, and if it's not thick enough, make more cornstarch or flour roux to thicken your gravy. So mine is thick like I want it. So my dressing is finally done. It's been baking for an hour. So you want to make sure that it is firm to the touch, and also that it's golden brown on the top. All right, so I'm just going to cut a piece to show you the inside. All right. So I wish it was a little moist. I should have added more cream of chicken or hen broth, but it's okay. It's not dry, and that's the good thing. And I'm adding on the gravy, and that completes my dressing recipe. Well, I hope you guys have an idea of maybe how you can make your dressing, and I hope you enjoy your holidays with your family. I thank you so much for watching. You all be safe and enjoy your Thanksgiving.